The air was thick with the scent of lavender, a remnant of the candle my wife, Jessica, had lit earlier that evening. Our living room was bathed in the soft golden glow of the chandelier, casting delicate shadows across the modern furniture. It was a picture of domestic tranquility, our home, our life, our carefully crafted illusion. I sat at the dining table, sipping the last of my bourbon, expecting her to join me. For years, this had been our routine, a quiet evening together after long days. But lately, something had changed. Jessica had grown distant, her laughter more forced, her kisses absent-minded. She was always texting someone, hiding her screen when I walked by. The signs were there, small but undeniable. The scent of cologne that wasn't mine on her clothes. The late-night girls' nights that left her coming home disheveled. The way she avoided my gaze when I told her I loved her. Something was coming. I could feel it. And then it happened. Jessica strode into the room with an air of confidence I hadn't seen in years, her red lips curling into a smirk. She tossed a stack of papers onto the table between us. "Sign them," she said coolly, her voice dripping with satisfaction. I looked down. Divorce papers. I blinked, my fingers tightening around my glass. "What is this?" Jessica crossed her arms, tilting her head as if I were a child struggling with a simple equation. "Come on, don't act surprised." I was surprised that she had the audacity to think she had the upper hand. But I masked my emotions well. She leaned in, her voice lowering to a sultry whisper, as if she enjoyed twisting the knife. "I've been with an incredible man for 8 months now. He's better than you in every way. And if you even think about touching him, I'll have you locked up." My blood boiled, but I forced myself to remain still. She thought I was weak. She thought I would crumble. She had no idea. I had known about the affair for months. I had seen the texts, the hotel receipts, the careless whispers when she thought I wasn't listening. I had even followed her once, watching as she met him, some cocky, smug bastard named Nathan. I had debated confronting her earlier, but I wanted to wait, to plan. And now, she was handing me the opportunity on a silver platter. I exhaled slowly, picking up the papers. "So, you're leaving me for him?" Jessica laughed, tossing her hair over her shoulder. "Oh, don't be so dramatic. It was over between us long before I met him. He just gave me the push I needed." I met her gaze, my voice steady. "You're sure about that?" Her expression faltered just for a second. Then she scoffed. "Of course. He loves me. He treats me like a queen, something you never could." I chuckled, shaking my head. "That's cute." She narrowed her eyes. "What's so funny?" I slid the papers back toward her. "Jessica, you really should have been more careful." I leaned back, pulling out my phone. With a few taps, I opened a folder I had meticulously compiled over the past few months. Photos, texts, even a recording of one of their little rendezvous. Jessica's face drained of color as I placed my phone on the table. "I knew," I said simply. "I knew before you even started hiding it properly. And while you were busy screwing Nathan, I was preparing." Her hands clenched into fists. You followed me?" "Oh, I did more than that." I smirked. "You see, Jessica, Nathan isn't as faithful as you think. In fact, he has 2 other women he's stringing along." Her lips parted, but no words came out. "I have proof," I continued, relishing the way her confidence crumbled. "Texts, photos, oh, and did I mention he's got a wife? A very wealthy wife who has no idea he's been spending her money on his little affairs." Jessica staggered back, shaking her head. "No. You're lying." I shrugged. "See for yourself." I tossed a manila folder across the table. She snatched it up, her eyes darting across the documents inside. The color drained from her face as she realized what she was holding. This can't be real." "Oh, but it is," I said, my voice dripping with satisfaction. "And I've already sent copies to Nathan's wife. She should be receiving them right about now." Jessica scrambled for her phone, her fingers shaking as she dialed Nathan's number. It rang. And rang. Straight to voicemail. I leaned in. "Guess he's busy," She whirled on me, her eyes blazing. You bastard. You ruined everything. I stood, exuding calm as she lost every ounce of control. No, Jessica. You ruined everything the moment you thought you could betray me and walk away unscathed. She lunged for me, but I sidestepped, watching as she collapsed onto the chair, her breath ragged. Then, the real blow. I also spoke to our lawyer, I added, casually. Turns out, you cheating voids the prenup. And since I was the primary earner in this marriage, well, let's just say you won't be walking away with much. Her lips trembled. No. Oh, and about your job? I smiled. Your boss is a friend of mine. Once he sees the little scandal you've been involved in, I doubt you'll have a position left. Jessica stared at me, her entire world shattering in real time. I picked up my drink, swirling the amber liquid as I watched her unravel. You wanted a new life, Jessica? Well, congratulations. You got it. The last time I saw Jessica, she was a wreck, disgraced, humiliated, and utterly alone. Nathan had disappeared. His wife had taken everything. And Jessica? She had nothing. I, on the other hand, had everything. I didn't need revenge through violence. I didn't need to scream or break things. I had simply let her destroy herself. And it was beautiful. I exhaled, stepping onto my balcony as the cold night air wrapped around me. Freedom tasted sweeter than I had ever imagined. Some betrayals don't break us. They build us. And I had never felt stronger. Like this story? Share your thoughts in the comments. Justice served, or did she deserve worse?